Hello and welcome back to Kosar's Film Corner. Or if you are joining for the first time, this is Kosar, a lifelong cinephile and a movie critic. On this channel, I share my thoughts on some of the TV series and movies I watch, diving into what makes them work, from the storytelling and structure to the style and performances. Today I'm going to talk about Ludwig, a BBC detective series that is clever, charming, and quite captivating. Now, if you're picturing a classic British mystery full of foggy streets, smart coats, and plenty of tea, you are not too wrong. Ludwig definitely has that type of aura, but it also brings something fresh to the table, as it is not about a hardened cop or a genius detective with a tragic past. It's about an ordinary man. Well, almost ordinary. Ludwig belongs to that fascinating little subgenre of crime stories where everyday people step into the detective role. Think of Miss Marple, the sweet village lady with a razor sharp mind, or more recently, the podcast loving trio in Only Murders in the Building. They just see something odd, get curious, and before you know it, they are knee deep in a murder mystery. In Ludwig, we follow John Taylor, a reclusive, socially awkward puzzle book writer who goes by the pen name Ludwig. His days are quiet and meticulously ordered until his identical twin brother, Detective Chief Inspector James Taylor, suddenly and mysteriously disappears. That's when James's wife, Lucy, asks John to do the unthinkable, impersonate his brother and break into the major crime unit in Cambridge, hoping to uncover clues as to what has happened to James. And here's where it gets interesting. John has no police training, no authority, and absolutely no business being there, for his own sake, his brother's, and the sanity of the local police. But when John is impersonating his brother, he's not just snooping. He's expected to step into his role completely. That means doing the one thing he's least qualified for, investigating murders. At the heart of the show is one big question: what has happened to John's brother? James's disappearance looms over everything. It's the backbone of the story. But here's the genius of the show. Each episode has its own standalone mystery, tucked into the larger narrative. Someone goes missing, a strange death occurs, a lie unravels, and John? John is posing as James. So naturally he gets drawn into these cases, while at the same time he's quietly gathering clues about James's disappearance. This dual structure, case of the week plus overarching mystery, makes the show feel rich and layered. You get the satisfaction of a standalone story while a deeper tension keeps building in the background. And here's where it gets really interesting for us as viewers. We know John is not James, and we don't know what actually happened to James. Maybe he walked away, maybe he is in danger, or worse, maybe someone wanted him gone. That uncertainty creates a constant low level fear. Could John be walking into the same trap? Every time he enters the police office, an environment where everyone assumes they know him, we are on edge. He doesn't know the names of his colleagues, or their relationships, or past cases. One wrong word, one slip of memory, and boom, his whole cover could fall apart. That tension runs under every scene. Even when he is calmly solving a case, we are scanning the room, wondering, does anyone suspect him? Is this the moment when it all comes crashing down? One of the strengths of Ludwig is how engaging the main characters are, particularly the emotionally complex relationship between John and his sister in law, Lucy. They are not just thrown together by tragedy, there is clearly a long shared history, a quiet familiarity, a rhythm in how they speak and move around each other. They understand each other even when they leave things unsaid. There is an unspoken affection between John and the woman who eventually married James, the more socially fluent, successful twin. John is portrayed by David Mitchell, best known for his role in the cult British sitcom Peep Show. In Ludwig, Mitchell brings a restrained intensity to John. His performance is all about subtlety, awkward pauses, tiny hesitations, a flicker of emotion in the eyes. He captures both the logic driven mind and the aching vulnerability beneath it. Lucy, played by Anna Maxwell Martin, is equally compelling. Known for standout performances in Line of Duty, Motherland, and The Bletchley Circle, Martin excels at revealing the cracks beneath a composed surface. As Lucy, she's grieving, determined, and quietly desperate. She's the one pushing John into this deception, and you can see the weight of that decision in her every scene. The supporting characters don't exactly break out the usual police department archetypes, but their interactions with John are sharply written and well acted. Some are suspicious, some are amused, some are quietly protective. These varied dynamics add texture to the world of the show and constantly remind us how out of place John is. Each unfamiliar face is a potential threat to his cover. Every conversation is a minefield. One of the things I truly appreciate about Ludwig is its tone, the way it never tries to overwhelm you with fast cuts, constant action, or over the top plot twists, the way we usually see in American crime dramas. Instead, Ludwig is calm, deliberate, and beautifully measured. The tension is built through intellect, not volume. It's all done in a very British way. Thoughtful pacing, dry wit, and a deep confidence in atmosphere over a spectacle. Even the high points in the story aren't loud, they're quietly satisfying. You don't feel jolted, you feel rewarded. That quiet, stylish approach is part of what makes Ludwig stand out. It gives space to silence, to ambiguity. It trusts the viewer to pick up on small details, the kind John notices. In that sense, watching Ludwig feels like solving a puzzle with him. You are not just following the mystery, you are part of it. You question things with him, you doubt people as he does. That makes the viewing experience unusually immersive. It's more than just entertaining, it's cooperative. It's impossible to talk about Ludwig without acknowledging the role of its setting, the city of Cambridge. The show draws deeply from its unique atmosphere. Stone buildings, narrow lanes, old colleges, winding alleyways, river under the mist. Cambridge's feeling is calm, intellectual, and slightly eerie. It's an environment that reflects John's inner world, full of details, history, and buried secrets waiting to be uncovered. I don't know about you, but when I first heard the title Ludwig, my immediate thought was wait, is this about Beethoven? You know, Ludwig van Beethoven? And it kinda is. The music of Ludwig is a playful, inventive reimagining of Beethoven's legacy, woven intricately into the show's identity. Composers didn't treat Beethoven with a stiff reverence. Instead, they approached his themes like puzzle pieces, breaking them apart, reshaping them, and threading them through the story in unexpected ways. Rather than quoting full melodies, they used fragments from symphonies, sonatas, and overtures to echo the inner working of John's mind, his logic, his emotional restraint, and his occasional bursts of feeling. The result is a soundscape that feels both intelligent and refreshingly buoyant, perfectly in tune with the show's tone. So, why is the series called Ludwig? Obviously, it's a reference to John's pen name. He uses this name to publish his crosswords, puzzles, and logic games. But why did he choose this name in the first place? Well, it's a quiet tribute to his lifelong love of Beethoven, and it started early. In the very first episode, we see a young John designing his first ever puzzle while listening to Beethoven. The music becomes the backdrop to his way of thinking, his need for order, structure, and logic in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. For John, Beethoven isn't just music, it's a framework, a mindset, a form of emotional clarity expressed through a structure and control. And Ludwig isn't just how he sees himself, it's how the world begins to see him. not as John Taylor, the socially awkward twin of James, but as Ludwig, the mystery man, the outsider with a mind that runs on a different frequency. And another point, let us not forget that Ludwig is a BBC sourced production, which means we are in expert hands. People often think of BBC as a news agency, but it's much more than that. With a storied legacy in television, BBC has become a global symbol of quality, storytelling, and craftsmanship. From Pride and Prejudice to Sherlock, Luther to Line of Duty, it has consistently delivered a standout television, and Ludwig fits right into that tradition. Here's the good news: Season 2 is on its way. The mystery of John's brother's disappearance is far from over, and if Season 1 is any indication, we are in for another round of mind bending puzzles, emotional revelations, and maybe even a few answers we are not ready for. If you're in the mood for a mystery that's not just about who done it, but how done it, and why it even matters, give Ludwig a try. It's stylish, satisfying, and very engaging. What makes the series a standout isn't just the clever plot, but the confidence in storytelling. Whether you are a fan of classic mysteries or just in the mood for something a little different, Ludwig is a rare gem, and I promise you, it's well worth your time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Did you manage to solve any of the crimes before John did? I didn't, not even close. Until next time, this is Kosar's Film Corner. Thank you.